I'd like to ask you about the 2020 election and how you felt going into the election, first of all. There was a wide conversation around vote blue no matter who, and I think someone you've mentioned or you've referenced, Nathan J. Robinson, was one of quite a few writers on the progressive left that were sort of arguing that the left in America shouldn't give their vote to Biden easily, that they should perhaps have a lot of conditional support for the Biden presidency. But Noam Chomsky, someone I'm sure you've heard of and someone I read a lot, he was very adamant that anyone that doesn't vote for Biden in one of the swing states is essentially voting for Trump. And he said that someone who's obviously been very critical of Biden over the years, and Democrats in general, seem to think that vote blue no matter who was perhaps the most important aspect of the 2020 election. How do you see that calculus going?
So what Chomsky said is like, elections are one part of organizing a one-party democracy. So you go in on Tuesday and you vote, and then on Wednesday you go back and you pressure them. Yeah, which is true and which I understand. I mean, I think the fundamental problem is that like representative democracy is actually not a very good system.
Okay.
So Aristotle said that it actually leads to oligarchy. His idea, he went and surveyed essentially democracies around the Mediterranean region. And so their idea of democracy, especially in Athens, was more direct democracy. If you were a citizen, which is a very restrictive category, then you were eligible for all public post. It's called sortition. So the idea would be that like when you went in, you put your own name in the ballot. So the Senate or the whatever would be filled with like normal citizens. So what you have in the US and even places like this is we just replicate feudalism, or they replicate capitalism or whatever. And you get some sort of like rubber stamp choice. But sort of the corporate oligarchic interests, or in our case, the more feudal interests, that always gets preserved. And that the whole representative democracy thing is actually like not a very good system. So with Trump, the problem was really that he just came out and said what America did. And that's bad, because that like embarrassed liberals, that embarrassed everybody, it looked ugly. Biden comes out and says nice things, like say on vaccines, he says, oh, we support a patent-free vaccine. But what does he do?
Yeah,
there is no patent-free vaccine. They haven't moved anything on that. So Biden has collected hundreds of thousands of dollars from pharma companies. He's quite openly corrupt. In the US, they just publish their corruption figures. So they just legalized corruption. So even at the bureaucratic level, these people are paid when they get out of office by the same companies they're supposed to be regulating. Or the same arms dealers. And these people fund the same think tanks that feed people into the State Department, that feed people into the government. So that sort of state capture is there, and then every few years you get to like vote on like which bought person you're going to choose.
You're going to choose. The same thing happened recently in the state of California, where I think the governor Newsom ran on Medicare for all. And it was widely reported that he would support Medicare for all, and then comes into office and they reported $1 million donation from a pharmaceutical company, or I think it was a private insurance company. And since then there's been no talk of Medicare for all in a state like California, which is essentially a stronghold.
I mean, look, it's like too easy, right? Like you just follow the money.